winners of this award by producing a dish that aligns with not one but four of the One Planet Plate criteria. Low carbon, low waste, feature more veg, and easy to replicate at home. The dish showcases the importance of cooking with pulses, which are great for soil health and act as a carbon sequester. So I'm here with Bobsy from Mana. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You are a pioneer in sustainability in Hong Kong, so I really want to talk to you about what you have to say and your advice. So, in your opinion, why is it important for food businesses to think about sustainability?
Oh, it's so important. It is so important because food and the supply of food and production food and how we grow food as a humanity is responsible for more than 50% of all the world's pollution, deforestation, desertification, displacement of ancient cultures, displacement of indigenous tribes, drought, water pollution, air pollution, soil pollution. The list goes on and on and on. And what is it one thing that human beings do every day? We eat. Some of us 3 times a day, some of us 5, 6 times a day. So imagine 8 billion people eating all day long. And sadly, in the last century or so, more and more people are moving towards eating animals. Now, traditionally, we don't eat animals 3 times a day. Traditionally, eating animals would have been kept for a weekend or a celebration or a special occasion. But with mass media and more people are moving towards eating animals all the time. And this is having a detrimental impact on our ecosystems, on our resources, on our real capital. And this has to reverse. And luckily, we see a rebirth of a big plant-based movement all over the world. Not just in the West, but in the East, North, South. So at the same time, more and more people are moving towards a plant-based diet, which has a much smaller eco-footprint, much smaller. So it's imperative, it's so important that we bring the light of awareness onto our diets. It doesn't mean we all have to go vegan on Monday morning. But what it does mean is we all have to become aware of where is our food coming from and at what expense to you, me, our children, and all of humanity. And once we become aware, then we naturally, inherently change and pay more attention towards what we eat. And naturally, we reduce our consumption of meat, fish, and dairy.
It's that really being conscious that we're on this earth and we are all symbiotic. We rely on each other, don't we?
Correct. There are no passengers on spaceship Earth. We are all crew. And we all have to be crew.
Do our part.
We do our part and more than our part. We have to do the best we can. And we will only do that once we become aware. Because if you're not aware, why would you? Why would you spend 10, 20% of everything you earn on being eco-friendly? Why? But once you're aware, you cannot but help do it naturally. Because human beings, inherently, we are good. We are good. We are born good. We just get educated to become fools.
Time for re-education.
Re-education, you know, it's so important that we really understand what on earth is going on today. It's for everyone's benefit. And then you become empowered, not disempowered. You become empowered because then you really realize what's at stake. And then you do everything you can as a cultural, creative, intelligent human being. Doesn't matter what you do. You will then do your best to create a more just, humanitarian, ecological, and spiritual world for everybody to live in. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful journey, and it just gets better and better.
Ultimately, you become more connected. So as you say, it's fulfilling. It's a win-win. It's what.
Absolutely. True that. True that.
What has being part of Food Made Good meant to you, and what's Food Made Good done for your business?
Food Made Good. It's a pleasure being part of it. It really is, and I think it's got an interesting and significant future ahead of it. I think Food Made Good is just beginning the journey here in Hong Kong. And I think the relevance and the importance of Food Made Good can only grow. It can only grow. And maybe one day the Food Made Good award will be as big as any award in the food industry. It's coming. It's coming. It might be the future Michelin award for the younger generation.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be very meaningful.
Because the younger generation, what we call Gen Z and now the Alpha generation, are the future.
They are, and they're I feel the most conscious of our.
They are.
Yeah.
In Mana, our customers are getting younger and younger, and it's Gen Z and the younger millennials that are pushing this forward. And you ask them, "Oh, excuse me, are you vegetarian, vegan?" And they go, "Duh." Of course. What are you talking about? And that's their attitude, and, that's so brilliant.
I love
so
that.
brilliant to
Yeah,
have.
very inspiring. I want to ask you, because you're a pioneer in sustainability, what advice do you have for food businesses who want to become more sustainable?
Just do it. Really, just do it. It's not an intellectual thing. After all, the intellect is only one half of who we are, intellectually and cerebrally. It's not an intellectual, should I, shouldn't I, let me calculate the costs, let me weigh it up. No, it's a heart, intuitive and intellectual approach. So it's a complete brain, left and right. It's a whole brain, a whole mind, heart and mind initiative. And it makes sense. It makes sense on every level. It's ultimately good for your business. So don't be afraid. I always tell people, you have to pay your salary burden, you have to pay your rent, you have to pay your utility bills, you have to pay your expenses. Well, you have to pay to protect the environment. It has to be incorporated as part of your business package. You can't have it as an afterthought. Oh, once we're successful, then we'll consider the environment. No, the environment, which is not different from you and I, has to be incorporated into the business plan from the beginning. So when you go to seek funding, you say, well, there's 5 to 10% to protect the environment. So we have to expand the paradigm of how we operate business. It can no longer be reduce costs and increase sales. That's not enough anymore, because that's damaging. So we have to expand how we do business and incorporate the others. That means the environment, the animals, the people. It has to be part of the business plan from the beginning, not as an afterthought.
Right. Because if you think like real sustainability, you want to sustain as a business, but now it's just that you can't have that out of the equation.
Correct.
Ultimately, it's part of your sustainability as a business and for the earth.
Correct.
It's really one and the same.
Correct. The only thing that's missing is you're not being forced to do it now. If you don't pay your electricity bill, it's cut off. If you don't pay your salary burden, if you don't pay your rent. So we need some mechanism where if you don't care for the environment or don't pay your environmental bill, there has to be some consequence. Otherwise, you will keep on procrastinating, but there has to be some mechanism where we are forced to pay the environmental bill, because it's our debt to our children. It's our debt to the environment. So it has to be incorporated. So I'm all for taxing us on our rubbish, taxing us on our pollution. All of us, from households to businesses to governments to everybody in between. We must pay. We must pay, because this is all debt. Debt that our children will bear.
Thank you, Bobsy.
Thank you. Thank you.